Hey there, I'm Matt with the MissionHub team, and we're super excited to help you take the next best step with those that you care about. The MissionHub team really believes that when we take those steps of faith, we're actually going to get to see God do something. We expect that. And we're really, really excited to hear about how God begins to show up in your life and in the lives of those that you're caring for as you take these steps. This is the second video in our series, so if you didn't get a chance to watch our first, let me encourage you to go watch that first. But in a short summary, MissionHub is really built around taking the next best step based upon a person's phase of their spiritual journey. Whether they're uninterested in hearing about Jesus, maybe they're curious, or they're growing, we want you to be intentional and purposeful and confident in the ways in which you get to care for this person. But it's probably not just you who wants to do these types of things. Maybe you're involved in a Bible study, church, even a ministry on a local campus. Whatever it is, MissionHub wants to help your ministry impact those around you and to reach your place. There's a couple of ways in which MissionHub wants to help, but if you think about this, growth happens in relationship. Very rarely does a person, or for very long, grow on their own by themselves. So one of the first things that MissionHub wants to do is to provide those connections and those relationships to ensure that intentional growth is happening. Now, we have the best of intentions. I want to pray for you. How can I pray for you? Give me a call. Let's meet, right? We say all those things and we genuinely mean them. But the pace of life, the busyness of life, and sometimes, honestly, for me, just my laziness gets in the way. MissionHub wants to make those relational connections for you so that you can be intentional and purposeful in looking forward, as well as helping you keep track of this growing, rich spiritual history that you have in these relationships. The second way that MissionHub wants to help you in your ministry is to close the gap between the time an interested person raises their hand and when they get contacted. So think about all the ways in which an interested person might get connected to your ministry. Maybe it's word of mouth, maybe they just show up. Other times they fill out a contact card, a digital survey. Somehow their information makes it to your hand. The question is, what do you do with that? Who's the best person to follow them up, give them a call, try to meet with them and talk? Whoever that is, we want that to happen as fast as possible, right? They raised their hand, they said, I'm interested, I'd like to talk. MissionHub wants to close that gap for you and make it as easy as possible to get that person's information to the right person and get them talking. So all this happens around the idea of assignment and relationship within the web administrative portal of MissionHub. I'll show you a little bit about how that works on the web, and also how the mobile app can come in and make it super simple for you to just know who are the people that you're caring for, those that you know, and maybe those that you don't know, and what are the things that you want to be doing with them. So once you log into MissionHub, go to missionhub.com, click login at the top right. You'll be at this screen, which is the people view of MissionHub Web. Now what you're seeing here are all the people that have been assigned to me, or I've assigned to myself. If you don't have anybody assigned to you yet, this page will mostly be blank, but that's okay because we're going to change that really fast. So we're going to go up to Ministries in the top menu bar and click on Ministries. And what we'll see is each blue box represents kind of a ministry location. So today I'm going to use the 5 watts bucket, which is kind of my personal test account, just kind of try things out. So we're going to go to the Contacts tab of 5 watts. And within the 5 watts ministry bucket, you'll see that there are 6 contacts. Once you get in here, we're going to look for all of the people that have the uncontacted status beside their name. If you have a lot of people in here, what we can do is we can sort by this column and just bring all of the uncontacted up to the top. So I'm going to select Howard. He's an incoming freshman this year, and I'm going to dig into his profile. we want to change their status to attempted to contact. Okay? So you've reached out to this person, you've made a first effort to connect with them. So we want to label them as attempted to contact, and that lets other in your ministry know that somebody's already contacted this person and not to double up. The next step we also want you to take is go to the Assign To box and start typing in your name until you find it and go ahead and select it. And that way, Howard Kretzinger is kind of assigned to me, and he's my responsibility to continue to communicate with. Once we've done those steps, we can come back to history and make a little note for ourselves about what we've done. Now, if you've got one lead, maybe this doesn't feel that important, but we want to build kind of a spiritual history about people so that I can be reminded about what I've done with them, as well as other people within the ministry as we interact with them. So I'm going to do a comment only and just make some notes here and say, friended on Facebook, messaged on May 31st. And I can hit save, and that will just add this under the survey probably as a little note to myself and others about what's been done. I wanted to let you know quickly too that since I've assigned Howard to myself, if I go back to people, when I come into the web, you'll see here's Howard assigned to me in the 5 watts. So instead of making all those clicks, let's say Howard messaged me back on Facebook and I want to kind of make a note for that. I can come over here to this plus sign, go to the comment only, and make a quick note for myself. Howard wrote back, he's excited to connect, wants to study math. And I can click done and just keep going that way. So now I'm in my phone, and while the web is made for me to manage lots of different tasks and lots of different people, the phone app for MissionHub is really made for me. So I'm going to open up the MissionHub app. And if you remember our first video, we really talked about the personal ministry side of MissionHub, how MissionHub's helping me take the next best step with those that I care about. And so you'll see in my personal ministry, once I've logged in, I've got a number of different people that I'm wanting to help grow. But here you'll see is my 5 watts bucket ministry that we looked at from the web. And you'll notice right here on the second name is Howard Kretzinger, who was assigned to me. I assigned to myself. And here he is showing up on the people screen of my mobile app. Now, you'll notice this little red icon on the right, the 2 street signs, and a little notification telling me to choose a path for Howard. So currently on the web, there's no way for me to set the spiritual path or to pick steps for Howard. That functionality is exclusively on our mobile apps at this time. So I'm going to select choose a path for Howard and scroll through, and Howard is forgiven and wanting to take the next steps to grow. And so I'm going to ask Howard what God has been teaching him this week, and I'm going to invite Howard to church, and I'm going to click done. And so I've got my list of things. I'm going to click back into Howard. And if you see there in the bottom, the second one, my steps with Howard. I'm going to invite him to church this week, and I'm going to ask him what God has been teaching him this week. If you remember, one of the last things that we did from the web was leave a comment or a note about some things, how we reached out to Howard. I'm going to click here into history, and I'm going to be able to pull those up as well to see that on May 31st, I friended Howard on Facebook, and also on May 31st that Howard wrote me back and that he was excited to connect with me and that he wants to study math. One of the unique things when you're inside of a person's profile that's connected to a ministry, you'll have an additional tab called Interactions at the bottom. And these are actually specific things, more specific than the steps that you can take with a person. These are interactions that you can take with a person. So if I were to have a spiritual conversation with Howard or a gospel presentation, or if I were to talk with Howard about the Holy Spirit, or if he were to make a personal decision to follow Jesus or a discipleship conversation, that I could record those here. And those are kind of major thresholds in a person's life. So let's say Howard and I connected, and during our conversation, I talked with him about the person of the Holy Spirit and how to be filled with the Holy Spirit, be empowered by the Holy Spirit to live the life that he wants. I could click that little interaction there and could make a quick note. He had never heard about the Holy Spirit. Very excited. And I can click done. If I go to history, I can see that that has been added to my kind of history of spiritual interactions with Howard. So I could refer to that later. From this interactions tab, I could also, if I had his phone number or his email address, be able to call, message, or email directly from the app. As well, I could see a little bit about Howard's profile. Once I learn more, get more from him, I could add it to the profile here. Also, if Howard were to move away, or there was some way in which I didn't want to continue to be connected to Howard, I could click this overflow and hit unassign, and he would still stay within the ministry bucket, but he just would not be assigned to me. So let me show you one more thing within MissionHub for Ministries. Howard's a contact. Howard's not a MissionHub user, but Katie is a MissionHub user. Katie's assigned to me. Katie's guiding other people, and so I also want to be connected to her and helping her grow as she learns to help other people grow. And you'll see at the bottom, there's one more screen for her called Impact. And if I were to hit this Impact screen, since Katie is also a MissionHub user, I could get a quick glance at the different ministry steps, faith steps, that Katie is taking with other people. So you can see that Katie has not taken any steps of faith yet, and also that Katie doesn't have any assigned contacts to her. So this is something that would let me know back on MissionHub for Ministries on the web, I could go assign her some contacts and I would see that change. And then as she begins to use MissionHub and she takes steps of faith with people, hopefully we can see these zeros turn to ones and tens and maybe even hundreds. Okay, so that's MissionHub for web and MissionHub for mobile, helping you take the next best step with those you care about and seeing what God will do.